is going to be your L2. Okay. And your lengths would be in L1. And then we would have our mean as our final answer. Sorry, I should have done this first. This is our numerator. Okay, 600 over 35, 17.1 centimeters. So basically, all of this we did by hand. In this little box, it's telling you that you can do this with your calculator by doing stat calc and making your frequency list. List 2, you would put your lengths in list 1, and it will calculate all of this data for you if you had like a super big table. So what questions do you guys have on that little section? Okay, we're going to go on to grouped frequency tables. So when you have a lot of numerical data, it is helpful to group it into classes or frequency groups. Okay, each class interval lies between a lower bound and an upper bound. Okay, so for example, we have the heights of flowers in a bed were recorded and the grouped frequency table summarizes the results. So we have the length, okay? So instead of having individual lengths here, we had a ton of data. So we said between 0 and 10 centimeters, 10 and 20, 20 and 30, and 30 to 40. And we have our frequency listed here with the number of flowers in each category. Okay, so as we did at the very top with the first example, we need to calculate the midpoint of each of these lengths. Okay, so it would be 5, 15, 25, and 35. So the midpoint or the average of each of those lengths. Then we want to take our frequencies and multiply by the midpoint. We're going to add all these up eventually, and this will be the numerator of our mean. We would have 28 times 5, 34 times 15, 17 times 25, and 6 times 35. Okay. You would add all of these up to get your total. I guess I'll do it really fast. We only have 1 minute. 28 times 5. Oh my gosh, this might not be worth it. Okay, I'm just going to tell you what to do. So you would get your total value. You would add all these guys up and get your total value. And then you divide them. This is going to be your denominator. This one's going to be your numerator. Okay, and you can do this. So for grouped data, your L1, you can do this on the calculator. In your list, instead of trying to type in this, your L1 is going to contain the midpoint of the interval. Okay, and I'm going to move numerator. There are 2 definitions that I want to write at the bottom. So I need to move these guys. This is our denominator. Okay. So the 2 things I want to talk about, I guess the most important thing, since we kind of already mentioned the other one, is estimating mean. Sometimes it'll ask you to estimate the mean. Okay, and when you do this, you want to use mid-interval values to estimate. Okay, I remember that being an issue last year. There were some questions that asked you to estimate the mean, and then I didn't really have a good method. So I looked it up, and IB wants you to take, if you lined up your data and looked at intervals of the data, you would take values that are midway between certain intervals. It depends on how accurate you want your mean, estimated mean to be. And then you would average those together to get your estimate. The other thing I was going to write was about modal class. That was just the question we answered in example 1. So if you have a frequency table with data in it, you pick the group of data or the class of data that had the most. So for example, here, 34 is the largest number of flowers. The modal class would be 10 to 20. That's that whole group. Okay, so it's just it just happens to be when you have a frequency table, they call the mode the modal class because it has a group instead of just individual values. Okay, what questions do you guys have before you go and start working on the process? Okay, if there are no questions, you can go ahead and go and start working on the practice assignment. Make sure you turn in your IA topic proposal on the slot for today and look at your homework. Study linear regression for Thursday. If you have questions and want to stay on, feel free to stay on. I will write the definition for modal class at the bottom of this so that you guys can copy it down later if you want. All right, well, it was great to see you guys for a minute today. And just let me know if you have any questions.
Will you be posting those notes now?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
It takes a minute because I have to scan it, wait for the email, and then upload it, but yes.
Okay.
Are the notes you're putting up, are they going to have the completed bottom section or no?
Oh, you mean, am I going to add the definition for modal class?
Finish the group frequency tables.
Oh, if you would like me to do that, I'm happy to do that.